In summary, the system flags them out. Ladies and gentlemen, from the above explanation, it is obvious that the online method of registration is more beneficial than the offline method. The online mode, however, requires consistent, uninterrupted internet supply. Recognizing this, we worked closely with our partners, the MTN, to put in place structures to make this feasible. In almost all our district offices, we run 2 platforms to provide internet service: the leased lines as well as turbonets. The plan was that when the leased lines failed, service from the turbonet would immediately kick in. In spite of these arrangements, however, we still experienced interruptions to internet connectivity over the first 2 days. This led us to revise our policy to allow for the use of both online and offline methods of registration. I'm happy to note that since the revision of this policy, the process of registration has been seamless and unhindered. And I give you an example. On day 1, that is Tuesday, the 12th of September 2023, relying solely on the online mode of registration, we captured just 12,467 registrants throughout the country. However, with a swift policy change, which now allows the use of both online and offline methods of registration, we have seen an increase in the numbers of registered voters. So on Saturday the 16th and Sunday the 17th of September 2023, we recorded a turnout of 42,266 and 42,776 respectively. We are hopeful that with the use of both methods, we would witness a seamless and unhindered registration exercise throughout the country. Another issue that we experienced in the first few days was that of large crowds and long queues at the registration centers. Again, we went back to the drawing board to identify these centers. We immediately increased the number of registration stations from 2 to 3, and in some cases 4. Faulty kits were also swiftly replaced with spares that were available in the region. And so, for instance, in the Tamale Metro office, we experienced issues with the kits sent there, resulting in a registration figure of 4 voters only on day 1. We quickly stepped in and replaced the faulty kits, and the registration is going on there seamlessly. Additionally, to do with the long queues in the Tamale metropolis, we have increased their registration stations from 2 to 4. And I'm happy to note that on Saturday, they recorded a high of 269 registrations and 410 on Sunday, the 17th of September. I share these examples to demonstrate that as a commission, we are on the ground and working around the clock to ensure that every eligible voter who is eligible to register, or who is desirous to register as a voter, does so with ease. We have heard of allegations from various quarters that the Commission is disenfranchising eligible voters. This is false. It is not in our interest as a Commission to disenfranchise any eligible voter. In fact, we take pride in the fact that we have the second highest number of registered voters in the whole of Africa, with the exception of Cape Verde, which has a national population of just about 600,000 and a voting population of 55.33%. Per the 2021 census figures, Ghana boasts of a register that captures 55% of the national population. That is 17,027,000 persons, out of a national population of 31 million. As a commission, we pride ourselves that our voter registration population meets international best practice for the registration of voters. Ladies and gentlemen, we are well aware that the Commission's policy to use its 268 district offices as registration centers has attracted criticism from some sections of the society. As you may be aware, the Commission conducted a full-blown registration exercise in some 33,000 plus polling stations in all our district offices nationwide in 2020 for a considerable length of time. In addition to that, we will identify difficult to access areas and undertake a mop-up registration of voters in those areas. Of course, we will rely on data from the Ghana Statistical Service and our own database to determine areas where the registration figures are low as a result of inaccessibility to our district offices. And I'd like to repeat this, that this is not the only registration exercise prior to the elections in 2024. In line with our plan to promote an inclusive participatory registration process, we plan to institute registration in all our offices nationwide in 2024 for a considerable length of time. In addition to that, we will identify difficult to access areas and undertake a mock-up registration of voters in those areas. We wish to assure the good people of Ghana that we have their best interests at heart. We do not, and I repeat, we do not intend to disenfranchise eligible voters. It is in our interest to register them all. However, our present circumstances makes it impossible to conduct registration on electoral area basis. As you are all aware, the Commission prepared a draft CI for continuous registration in all district offices nationwide. This initiative started last year, and the registration we were envisaging under the draft CI was for a sustained long-term basis. Indeed, had the CI passed, we would have had some 6 months this year, to register voters at any time of their choice. And I'd like to repeat it, that had the CI passed, we would have had some 6 months to register voters at any time of their choice in our district offices throughout the country. In this regard, ladies and gentlemen, our 2023 budget and work plan were prepared along those lines. Our 2023 work plan and budget was based on a continuous registration of voters in our district offices nationwide. We did not factor electoral area registration in our 2023 work plan and budget. Hence, our adoption of this method in line with our budget and our work plan, as well as our long-term plan and vision. You are all aware that our budget and work plan is approved by Parliament. We discuss our budget and work plan and we are mandated by law to discuss our budget and work plan with the Special Budget Committee of Parliament before its approval. So our budget and the work plan we are operating currently is well known to Parliament. As mentioned, our plan for 2024 is to undertake a mop-up exercise in the difficult to access areas after our continuous registration exercise in all our district offices throughout the country. As such, those who are unable to register in this ongoing exercise will have the opportunity to do so next year. As we noted in our previous engagement, the Statistical Service projects that 450,000 persons turn 18 years every year. This sums up to 1,350,000 eligible voters for the period 2021, 2022, and 2023. This projection by the Statistical Service has aided our planning and our procurement. For the purpose of this registration, however, we are targeting roughly 700,000 voters. That is 52% of the registrable population, bearing in mind that not all who attain the age of 18 years will participate in this exercise. We are confident that with the long-term continuous registration in all our district offices, coupled with a limited mop-up exercise in difficult-to-reach areas in 2024, we will have all eligible voters who are desirous to register as voters on board ahead of the 2024 general election. Ladies and gentlemen, while we are doing everything in our power to capture every eligible voters, we are doing everything in our power to ensure that ineligible voters do not get onto our register. We are reliably informed about attempts by some persons to get minors on the register, and we encourage the citizens who observe these illegal practices to challenge them. We have a recourse in the law that allows citizens who qualify to vote, who qualify to register as voters, to challenge anyone who in their view is a minor or a foreigner. Additionally, we have charged our district electoral officers who are serving as registration officers to challenge the registration of these minors and foreigners. We expect that with their effective supervision and leadership, there will be no minors or foreigners on our electoral roll. We have received reports of the arrest of the youth organizer of one of the political parties in the Shai Osudoku constituency. It is alleged that he was facilitating the registration of minors. We are also aware of other cases of attempts by other persons who should know better to register minors. It is for this very reason that we felt it necessary to limit the documentation for identifying a person's citizenship and age to the Ghana card. Indeed, our experience with the 2020 registration exercise revealed attempts by minors and foreigners to illegally get on our roll. And it took a great deal of time, effort, and money to expunge them from our register. In all, we succeeded in deleting the details of 15,000 persons from our register. Our proposal to use the Ghana card as the sole document for identification for registration purposes is simply to guarantee and protect the integrity and credibility of the register. It is not to disenfranchise any eligible voter as is being alleged. The current attempts by sections of society to register minors strongly supports our proposal for the use of the Ghana card as the only document to verify and attest to a person's citizenship and age. Similarly, what we see gives credence to why our proposal was resisted. We use this opportunity to caution guarantors to refrain from guaranteeing for minors and non-citizens. In the past, they got away with it. This time, we intend to compile a list of defaulting guarantors and bring them up for prosecution. On a personal note, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen a video circulating in which the author states that as Executive Director of the Institute of Economic Affairs, the IEA, I called on the Electoral Commission to expand the registration centers during the 2016 voters registration exercise ahead of the 2016 presidential and parliamentary elections. I categorically state that I said so, but I did so in a constructive manner devoid of attacks, insults, and falsehood. We will recall that in the lead up to the 2016 election, the Commission at the time undertook voter registration in its district offices throughout the country. This was conducted in a year of a general election, that is a presidential and parliamentary election. And now the difference here is this. The current exercise being conducted in the 268 district offices is not being undertaken in a year of a general election. Hence my call to the Electoral Commission in 2016 to expand the scope of the registration. That is not to say that the district level election is not important. It is. However, as mentioned, our budget and work plan for 2023, which Parliament approved, was based on a long-term continuous registration and not registration on electoral area basis. I place on record that our plan for 2024 is not the same and will not be the same as what is being carried out today. Neither will it be the same as what happened in 2016. I'd like to take this again. I mentioned that the 2023 DLEs are important to us. Indeed, they are important elections indeed. However, as mentioned earlier, our budget and work plan for 2023, which Parliament approved, was based on a long-term continuous registration and not registration on electoral area basis. I place on record that in 2024, our plan will not be the same as what is being undertaken today. Neither will it be the same as what occurred in 2016. In the lead up to the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections, we will roll out a continuous registration of voters for several months in the district offices. Additionally, we will undertake a mop-up exercise in selected electoral areas, particularly in areas that have difficulty in accessing our district offices. And so you see that the registration exercise planned for 2024 is different, or will be different, from what was conducted in 2016. What is baffling is that the very same people who are accusing us of trying to disenfranchise eligible voters were silent in 2016 when the Commission instituted registration in the district offices ahead of the presidential and parliamentary election. I take this opportunity to urge the good citizens of Ghana not to believe everything they hear. The allegations being made against us, including accusations of our working to disenfranchise eligible voters, to sending faulty kits to the stronghold of a specific political party, are false. A number of districts reported having faulty kits on the first 2 days. These kits were not located only in the stronghold of a political party, of a particular political party, and the evidence is there for all to verify. The only region that did not report any faulty kits is the Savannah region. All other regions had faulty kits which were swiftly replaced. As mentioned earlier, the faulty kits in the Tamale metropolis were replaced immediately to enable a smooth registration of voters. As a result of the backlog from the first day, and based on my discussions with the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, we set up 2 additional registration centers to cater for the teeming crowds. In all, the Tamale Metro Office has 4 registration stations, and this has helped to ease up the long queues and traffic. As a commission, we remain open to constructive dialogue and call on our stakeholders, particularly the leadership of political parties, to engage with us to ensure a successful exercise. I wish to emphasize that in 2024, once again, the Commission will undertake a continuous registration in all districts for a sustained period. And we are looking at some 5 to 6 months of continuous registration. Additionally, a mop-up exercise will be held in selected areas where it is difficult to access our offices. As a Commission, we remain committed to ensuring that every eligible voter who is desirous to get on our roll can do so without hindrance. And we will work within our mandate to ensure that this happens. I'll now turn my attention, ladies and gentlemen, to the statistics of the voters' registration exercise so far. At the end of 6 days, we have recorded a total of 182,831 registered voters, and I'd like to provide the breakdown. I think I'll start with Western Region. Out of the 182,831 registered voters as at day 6, Western Region recorded 11,644, representing 6.4% of the total registered to date. Western North registered 6,491, representing 3.6% of the total registered to date. Central Region has registered 17,590, representing 9.6%. Greater Accra Region has registered 27,264, representing 14.9%. Volta Region has registered 12,681, representing 6.9%. Oti Region has registered 4,427, registering 2.4%. Eastern Region has registered 19,327, representing 10.6%. Ashanti Region has registered 29,255, registering 16%. Bono Region has registered 6,580, representing 3.6%. Ahafo Region has registered 4,519, registering 2.5%. Bono East has registered 7,291, registering 4.0%. Savannah Region has registered 4,655, representing 2.5%. Northern Region has registered 12,982, registering 7.1%. Northeast has registered 4,244, representing 2.3%. Upper East has registered 8,639, representing 4.7%. Upper West has registered 5,241, representing 2.9%. And it gives us a national total of 182,831. Interestingly, we see a pattern of more males registering than females. And so at the end of day 6, 53.9% of males had registered as against 46.1% females. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for your time and your attention. And the Commission is ready and available to take any questions that you may have. We look forward to briefing you in the coming days and to providing, I think, the infographs of the various, depicting the data across the regions would be shared on our WhatsApp platform and our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and on our website to enable the citizens follow through. And we'll be coming back to you periodically, on this platform to provide you updates of how things are proceeding. Thank you very much.